Well, if you've been following West Indies cricket, Andy Payne, welcome to Anything Cricket Let's Talk. You would not be totally surprised at the events of the day. West Indies are doing well to restrict the Aussies, but very seldom do the Windies have a full day of the type of cricket that the fans would want. I suppose in a nutshell, that's what one could say. But you may be a little bit more analytical than I would be. So, how do you feel after day one of this test match?
Well, more so the West Indies, how they should feel in their camp tonight, Philip. They'll think that they're in a pretty balanced position. The bowlers this morning came out, they utilized the conditions very well. Young Shamar Joseph, again, proven his worth against the Aussie attack. Support from Jaden Seals. He picked up a fifer. I thought he supported very well. But they should think that they're in a very good position, being able to dismiss the Aussies. And it was just over 2 sessions of play. I thought that they would feel like they were in a really good position going in overnight, just losing some 4 wickets, but albeit one being the night watchman and Jamel Warrican, some 50 odd runs on the board. I mean, they would prefer probably 50 for two. But all in all, I think it was a good day's play for the Windies.
Yeah, interesting that Shamar Joseph, Geneseals picked up the 5 wicket haul, but I think it was really Shamar Joseph who opened the door, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he would feel to be a bit unlucky. Shamar Joseph probably could have gone on to get a couple more wickets. After he had that 4 wickets, Philip, you can remember that well, I don't know what I said dismissal, but that what they thought would have been a dismissal of Travis Head at such a crucial position, a crucial timing. The third umpire, Adrian Holstott, ruled Head to be not out, a caught behind chance by Shea Hope. And at that point, he would have been picking up a fifer. And who knows, he probably would have gone on to blow away that tail and probably would have gotten a bit more. So he can count himself a bit unlucky.
Yeah, I suppose it was a close call. The umpire, I suppose, gave the benefit of the doubt. Some of us who watched it, some people felt that it had carried, others felt it had not. Significantly, um, Hope wasn't sure, and initially there wasn't really much excitement from the West Indies camp. It was only after the first replay that they started to high five, and it looked to them, as I guess it did to you, that the ball had carried. But the technology supported Head.
Yeah, and I thought why they were a bit like lusher to it. Initially, you remember the first thing was for if it had got on the inside edge, as opposed to if before the carry to the keeper came into the equation. So I think the doubt was to if it had an edge more so than to if it carried initially. So again, the technology proven. We had the third umpire, the TV umpire there, and Adrian Holsalt, like we said, and he ruled against the West Indies. I mean, Travis Head in his interview after play this afternoon, he said it was one of those decisions that the West Indies found themselves on the receiving, not on the receiving end. And if it was the other way around, he said he would have been disappointed if he was given out. So it was one of those decisions, you know. But I thought personally that they found themselves a bit in the unfortunate position.
Fair enough. The night watchman, some talk about that as well. Some people believe that the night watchman situation is outdated. Some felt that with 20 minutes to go, it was a long time to ask the night watchman to do a job. It's good to have these views and to express them, but you also got to remember that this night watchman was one of the, you could almost say one of the main batsmen in Pakistan in very difficult conditions.
Yeah, and again, I could go with Roston there as well. Being the captain, he's the next man in 20 minutes. You want to come tomorrow as the captain and hoping that this night watch will work. Obviously, he's played a lot with Jamel Warrick and he knows his capability. We've seen him in Pakistan, like you rightfully said. And we knew that he's capable of doing the job. I think from the play close by, what I thought the Australians did, and they did it very subtle, was you saw uh, Hazelwood asking the man from mid wicket to go deep on the batter's career area boundary, and he was able to give up a single to Brandon King to get Warwick on strike, which he thought he really had a good chance to get in that wicket. So it was a good subtle move by the Aussies at that stage. But albeit you said Warren can't, he's proven that he's no rabbit with the bat, so to speak.
So, what's in play for the second day? The game pretty much balanced, you could say. Some may think that the Aussies will be the happier of the two teams after a total batting meltdown to be able to come back to pick up 4 wickets. What do you think the two teams will be looking to do tomorrow?
What the Aussies might do better than us, Philip. Their feeding is always very exceptional. You saw the catch by Bo Webster there at second slip this evening to dismiss Craig Brathwaite. Obviously, we spilled quite a few early in the innings in that area, slip and gully area. And they're very good catchers, Aussies down behind there. So any half chances, that's really a hold on to. And that for the West Indies, they need not to give those type of chances early tomorrow morning. So the first hours play, the first session, can really tell us where this game is going. Uh, say the Aussies might think that they're finished in a good position, rightfully so, with their bowling attack. Stark continue to pick up wickets. I'm sure Pat Cummins, we can't really keep him out. He's shown his worth all around. I think he will be the danger man in the series. Pat Cummins for me. And our batters to come, they really got to put their hands up. Ross and Chase, the captain, he's there. I thought Brandon King, the devoted, he handled himself very well. He was on the pressure for the selection. He had a few drop chances in that gully area. But to come out there this afternoon and the way he batted, I thought he really handled the pressure really well. So he will want to carry on tomorrow and prove that his selection, that he's justified Coach Sammy and the background staff with his selection. Roston James, like you said, he captaining for the first time in front of his home crowd in Barbados. He would want to go on and get a base score. And I know the crowd that they're really there to see Shea Hope on return, and they will hope that he can give them something to cheer about. So I think we still got a bit of batting in the bag. Justin Graves, he's proven that he can play as well. So I think we just need to bide our time and try to get through that first session of play.
I'm going to ask you something which you're supposed to know quite a lot about. Yes, you know a lot about batting, but I think you know a thing or two about keeping as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've done that job as well. Yeah.
Well, we heard so much about Shea Hope, and those of us who were at Kensington saw how he struggled against Trinidad. And there are those who felt, well, why would you ask a guy who's only accustomed keeping for a maximum of 3 hours to come and keep in a 5-day test? How did he handle himself on day one, to your mind?
Exceptionally well, Shea Hope. Like you said, I saw that same first last game that you're speaking about against Trinidad, and I don't thought his preparation for that game was all that. But obviously, over the last week at the training camp, obviously the coach and the back row staff, like you said, would have had their plans, and you could see that a lot of work went into his keeping over the last couple of weeks in terms of this build up to this role, and he looked really, really good, Philip. I mean, albeit it was not a whole day's play, but for the duration of time that he spent behind the stumps, he looked on par with anything we would want to put behind the stumps for the West Indies keeper.
Andy Payne, any further thoughts?
Yeah, I just thought one downside for me today probably would have been the bowling of Alzai Joseph. I thought he could have backed up the Pacers a bit better. I thought he was a bit lackluster in that first spell that he bowled. After seeing what Shamar Joseph and Jaden Seals had put down there, I thought Alzai, his backup bowling was not what the West Indies wanted this morning. I thought he could have run in a lot harder, put a bit more pressure on the Australian batters. But that didn't show. So I hope that as this series go on, if he can really become the backup bowler, because he's bowling first change for the West Indies, and I will hope that he can really buckle down and support the two junior bowlers in this case.
Justin Graves, not quick as such, but certainly effective and disciplined.
Very disciplined on Justin. He showed that he can be considered that fourth bowler. He did his role very well. He continued to contain. He didn't go leaking runs. He didn't try to over attack. So I thought he proved his role, and he was very good. His discipline was there, like you said, and he played a real supporting role as that fourth seamer. Ross he just bowled some 4 overs. Obviously, Warwick wasn't needed in the first inning, but there will be a second innings. I'm not sure how far this game will go, but in the second innings, I would expect Jamel Warwick to have some say in the bowling department.
Andy Payne, thanks a lot. We've heard from you. And now we're going to hear from the men who are out in the middle, Jaden Seals. And of course, as you mentioned, Travis Head also had a bit to say. are we going to hear from them as well?
Thank you, Philip.
Yeah, I think we're in the balance. We did well with the ball, and coming back to bat, they bowled well, and we expected them to. They're a very good bowling unit, experienced, established in the game. So yeah, I think the game is in the balance. I think going into tomorrow, we need to get through that first hour in the first session without losing a wicket or one for the most, because we've already lost four, and then apply the pressure. The camp that we had on the practice pitches that we used, there was a lot of movement, but albeit it was slow. So we expected it to play like how it did today, and I think we utilized the conditions well as well. I said today, I think this probably is my best 5-wicket haul, albeit because it wasn't my best day. I didn't feel at my best at any time throughout the day. There were times that I felt good, but throughout spells I didn't feel like I was in full control of what I wanted to do or was executing or nailing my lengths and lines as consistent as I wanted. So this one is probably my most special one. With the new ball, it's simple. Make the batsman play as much beyond that good length on top of off stump, going away or coming back from there. And then in the middle overs, if there was nothing happening, just to be straight and be as economical as possible, force the batsman to come at me. And in the back end where the tail enders were batting, it was just to be clinical and have that killer instinct that we spoke about throughout the camps leading up to the first game, was being very clinical against the tail, and it paid off today. We knew that coming into the Caribbean, pitch is a lot slower than what they're accustomed to in Australia. And especially this pitch, with the grass being how it is and the colour of the pitch, we knew that there was vulnerability within the batting lineup, and more so with the pitch, so we just tried our best to exploit it. I think that's what opened the game right up for us. Blowing away the top order is the most important thing in Test cricket, and then that made it a lot easier for us in the middle and in the back end of the innings, so he did a fantastic job for us today as well.
Trav, how do you assess that opening day? Was it as challenging batting out there as it looked?
Yeah, challenging day. Different wicket probably than what both teams expected. I think both teams were going to bat, so and both teams probably felt like it looked a really nice wicket, and it may spin later in the game, but two good quality seam attacks, and we've got something out of it. So it's been challenging.
And Shamar obviously, bowled pretty well with that new ball. What was it like sort of facing him again? 18 months on from the Gabba test. Yeah, I think 2 years on, everyone's got better. Thought Jaden bowled exceptionally well again. Azari's always thereabouts, and Shamar, again, put the ball in the right area and ask questions. So 2 years on, you expect everyone in international cricket to continue to get better when you get experience, and no surprises on what they were able to bring, and get things out of the wicket. So, but vice versa, we're able to do the same thing tonight, and probably makes for an important couple of hours in the morning.
That early delivery that Uzi got, that sort of he gloved over the slips, did that sort of set you guys in the dressing room thinking it might not be as easygoing as we initially thought it would be? Yeah, not easygoing, but
you communicate the best way you can, and whether or not there was a little bit of moisture in the wicket at the start, and as that dried out, we talked about getting through lunch and hoping the wicket would get better, and I think it did in stages, but then bowlers were able to get something out of it throughout the whole day.
Travis, can you just talk us through that caught behind that wasn't in the end, where the umpires were reviewing? Yeah,
I guess tough from mine. I didn't look around, so I only went off what the West Indies boys thought at the start, which was they weren't too confident. And then we see a replay, and it's hard from the middle. It looked close. It looked like it going either way, but I'm a long way away from those screens, and the third umpire's a lot closer than me. So they were disappointed at the decision. I think vice versa, if it went the other way, I probably would have been disappointed, so it can go either way.
And just your thoughts on the bowlers' efforts tonight?
Yeah, exceptional. They don't put a foot wrong, do they? They always ask questions, they always extract everything out of the wicket they can, and like I said, it's an important couple of hours in the morning, so exceptional job. Disappointed that we probably couldn't fight for a few extra runs to keep putting the pressure on West Indies, and then knowing that the quality of attack that we have, so it's probably got ourselves back in the position tonight where we're makes for a good morning.
On a wicket like that thank you. On a wicket like that, is the way you play sort of, do you think I suppose the most effective way of going about things? That you need to be attacking to succeed on a wicket like that? I didn't go out with an idea of it being attacky. I said that I thought the game sort of come to me, and I was able to score in some parts. I thought Uzi applied himself really well, so we got into a really good partnership. I think we might put on 80 maybe, and
completely two different ways of going about it. So I don't think there's one solid way of going about things on those sort of wickets. You've just got to double down on your plan and your blueprint and what you play best. And naturally, I like to try and put as much pressure back on. And there's going to be times where it works and not. Again, disappointed to get myself a start and not go on with it, but those things happen. And hopefully, you don't know until both teams battle. And hopefully, that's a score that can keep us in the game, which is good.
And I'd like to ask Travis, when we look back at the early part of the game, until you came to the crease, it seems as though the bowlers were all over the Australians, and it was very evident. The scoring rate was very, very low. You came in and you picked it up immediately. Perhaps in retrospect, do you think there should be a little bit of rethinking of how the early batsmen should go about it?
You try to assess conditions as quickly as you can. So, like I said earlier, I thought Usman applied himself really well in the partnership and batted completely different to what I did, and both were as effective as each other. So, guys will always learn. You always want to try to adapt to the conditions the best way we can. We battled hard against a really quality attack. So, on another day, you hope you get through it. And but yeah, we get another opportunity, hopefully tomorrow, to play well again and put ourselves in a position to try and win a game.